Why do you think men, especially in New York, go for younger women? It's not just because of the looks and the youth. A lot of that has to do with their behaviors and their patterns that would be acknowledged with people existing in the times of their discretions and bad relationships. So they have to engage with people that weren't born yet, or at least weren't in the city. I just saw a man, a community bicycle. He used to be like a supermodel. He dated really famous people. Him and I had a little thing a long time ago, besides the point. He is terrible to women, and he does the same thing with every single one of them. If they're a random girl or if they're a famous supermodel, he treats them all the same. He also uses them as like a punching bag, literally, and someone who is like very sadistic and basically pokes at his women, makes them feel really uneasy, then posts it online as like a funny thing, as like a joke. He's also DL, as like I caught him sleeping with a man once. And anyways, he's got a new girlfriend. She's beautiful. She's probably 24 years old, and they're gushing about how much in love they are. And it's just funny because I wish I could reach out to her and be like, hey, X, Y, and Z, but then I'm going to seem crazy. So instead, I just get to watch all of this unfold over the next 4 to 5 months when she finds out his true intentions, who he actually is. And I don't know, maybe I should say something, but I feel like it's been so long that it would be weird if I did. But I don't know, that's the weird thing about being in New York for so long. You'll see the same man treating different women exactly the same for generations, decades, years and years, bitch. And nothing ever changes except the girls.
You know, the commonality I find with a lot of these modern women that talk about stuff like this is that maybe these men, maybe they do have a point. Maybe they do have a point. All of the men that y'all are talking about seem to be a predator. They seem to be terrible. They seem to not be able to handle criticism. You're going to draw a boundary and you're going to put them in their place. It seems like all of y'all are just really hard-nosed disciplinarians, which consequently is not what a lot of men want.
I've been dating this guy for a couple of weeks now. He has a criticism for me. He told me that he don't like the way I dress. He thinks that I dress very mature. He said he doesn't like the fact that I re-wear a lot of my clothes. And I said, oh yeah, good. That is the look I go for. My goal, right? Because my goal is to look confident and look like myself. So I was okay with that criticism. He wasn't like okay with my answer to his criticism. I'm not going to change the way I dress. I'm not going to go out and buy new clothes. So I gave him 3 options. Option 1, you can buy me whatever you want me to wear. And if I like it, I'll wear it. 2, you can accept the fact that it's just my style. And 3, you can go out and find the woman that dresses the way that you like. You have 3 options, all of which I'm good with. The moral of the story is men will test your boundaries just so they can make you into something that you're not, even though they knew you wasn't who they wanted you to be when they met you. The best thing you can do to protect yourself is to stay true to your boundaries. When you decenter men and focus on what makes you happy, you're always going to come up on top.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't talk about this. I've been on your page. I can kind of see with the way you do your makeup. I can kind of see what he's talking about. I mean, you kind of do your makeup like an old lady, right? Maybe you're just talking about dress, but maybe just the whole entire thing. But if that's what you like, then that's what you like. If you don't like that, then I guess you got to move on down the road.
Listen to me, sis. And don't roll your eyes yet. And don't scroll past this video yet, because if this don't apply to you, it applies to somebody that you know. Anytime you're talking to an older man and he's hitting you with the women my age are bitter, women my age don't know how to be soft, women my age are set in their own ways, you're just more mature than the girls or the women that's my age. That's your very first red flag, baby. Because let me tell you what that really means. Women his age already figured his ass out. They saw the manipulation. They clocked the selective memory. They realize he only communicates when he's about to lose control. They notice how he dodges accountability like it's child support. So instead of him fixing himself, he says, cool, let me find somebody younger who still believes words means growth. And here you come along, young, hopeful, still romanticizing potential, still thinking struggle equals depth, still believing he's been hurt, excuses, bad behavior. And being that you excuse his bad behavior and all the above of what I just said, guess what? He feed off that. He'll make you feel special for tolerating nonsense. He'll call you different because you don't challenge him yet. He'll praise your softness while slowly eroding your boundaries. And the moment you start asking real questions, the moment you start noticing patterns, the moment your intuition starts to kick in, now you're too emotional. You're too young to understand. You're influenced by social media, creating problems. You see how that works? He loved your youth when it made you easy to mold. Now he uses the same youth to dismiss you. And that's not leadership, that's control with gray hairs. And let's be very clear. Maturity does not avoid accountability. Healing does not require dominance. Wisdom does not need someone smaller to feel powerful. If he was really all that grounded, all that emotionally involved, all that ready, women his age would want this man. But they don't. Because they already asked the questions. You're still learning to ask. Why every ex is crazy. Why nothing is ever his fault. Why his apologies come with excuses. Why growth is always promised but not practiced. And don't let nobody gaslight you into thinking this is just a preference. If he only dates younger women, if he avoids women who can match his life experience, if he treats you and your growth like a threat, red flags. That's not love, that's strategy. And the most dangerous part, these men don't look scary. They look calm. They sound wise. They speak softly while staring your whole damn life. So I'm not telling you to hate older men. No, absolutely not. Because we do have some good older men out there. I'm just telling you to watch the patterns and not pay attention to the compliments. Because attraction without discernment will have you defending a man who is slowly shrinking you. So pay attention, stop romanticizing imbalance, and don't let age convince you to ignore your intuition.
You don't ever think that maybe I am the problem as a woman? Let's say that he is immature. Let's say that he's running away from the problems that he's got going on. You don't ever think for a second, maybe I run my mouth too much? Maybe I run my mouth too much? Is that not something that ever crosses your mind? Maybe I do pop off and say things I shouldn't have? That never crosses your mind?
The 40-year-old man going after the 18-year-old woman is not about the woman. It's about getting young-looking women, right, and for that man to use that to up his value as a man. And I think that is what women actually have a problem with, is men using women.
I'm not thinking about that. I'll tell you why. Because I have perspective on this, right? Because when I was 40, dated plenty of 20-year-olds, 21, 22, 23, right? I'm not looking at any kind of long-term future. I'm just looking to have fun. Like between 20 to 30, I was actively seeking out.
Why?
Because that's what I wanted. Because that was my preference.
But why?
Because I felt like those were the women that I was more attracted to.
Would give you most validation as well, too, to being a man with high status and high value.
No.
You can be honest that you're attracted to them, but I think you need to be honest that choosing those women also upped your value as a man.
So a guy here in the comments says, men are also looking for happiness, smiling, kindness, fun, listening. Now the guy says younger women have less baggage and are more attractive. It's literally that simple. It's not all of these complex things. They're trying to stay away from chaos. And if you continue to give them chaos, then where do you expect them to go?
Let's talk about men who date younger women while I'm on my way. Men who date younger women are definitely immature. Immature doesn't have to be offensive, though, okay? Like, I get it. We want to stay in our youth. There's nothing wrong with that part. Our society has definitely set up things that we should do by X amount of time or by a certain age. And if we don't do them, that does make us immature to a degree. I'm immature, if it makes anybody feel any better. Okay, 10 years ago, late 20s, I dated an older guy. He wasn't that much older, but he was old enough to be tired. Because by the age of 45 to 65, you are tired. Admit that. And to be clear, I'm not a high energy kind of person. I don't do marathons. I don't need all the extra shit. Like, I don't need to stay busy 24/7. But even back then, it was like, all right, dude. And what I mean by tired is the whole sexual thing. And because he was interested, do not get me wrong, but the weight of the day definitely mattered more. Guys in their 40s to 60s have a lot on their mind. They have a lot of pressure. And dating a younger woman can double that. Secure men become insecure. As for the people with like 20-year age gaps, yeah, I'm sorry, you're avoiding accountability hard. Women closer to your age, they're not letting you get away with it, you know it. Because nowadays, women in their mid-20s, late 20s, don't necessarily know what they want yet. Not exactly finite in their plans. So you can milk that. And you do. The guy I dated, I ended up calling Splendid Daddy because he was trying to impress me so hard. And then it became evident that he didn't have it like that. And some others, obviously, because he lied about still being married and living in the same house. But anyway, helpful hint, ladies, he's not divorced until he puts it on Facebook. Even if he doesn't post anything, that man's going to post about getting a divorce. Until then, it's just what's in his head, not what's real. And I've heard the arguments that men want to feel youthful, they don't want the jaded type woman, it gives them a sense of vitality, all those kind of things. And again, that's just accountability, because all of those things you're supposed to be able to provide yourself, and you're looking to someone else to receive it or to get it. How old you feel, what you do with your day, how exciting your life is, that's all stuff that's up to you. You don't need to bring anybody else into your life to have that. Because if we date somebody for the point of other things like vitality and youth and excitement, you get really disappointed when you don't have that, or when you're not receiving that all the time. And then when you move past it, at some point, women are serious, right? Like we all are. Even in our mid-20s, if we're with you for 4 years, like we want to know what's up. But a lot of guys, when confronted with the what's up, what are we doing, after a long period of time, they're like, oh, I told you I didn't want anything. Okay, yeah, you did. And then you stuck around for 4 years, buying gifts, taking her on vacations, doing all sorts of other stupid. So, I mean, you're the grown-up. Be the grown-up. Do not waste someone's time. Even if they're saying that they accept that they don't want all the things, you better be prepared and better understand that's what's coming. A lot of guys act stupid and then place blame on the female because, oh, I told her. That shit is weak. You know how the women are. That is a poor excuse. No, what you're doing is wasting somebody else's time for selfish reasons. They made my life fun. Cool, bro, cool. And you want to tell me you're not immature? You're wasting someone else's life. What do you mean? That's gotta be in the definition of immature. Older women can't have kids. Correct. And you waiting until you're 45 to decide that you want kids makes you irresponsible, immature, unthoughtful, and unintentional. It was like 1 or 2 generations ago that you had to have that figured out by 25. Come on. And we were around for that, so let's not play like you don't know. And just to be clear, I'm down with people doing their own thing. I'm down with them not committing to relationships, not getting married, all that kind of but I've thought about it a lot. I made intentional decisions to not have children. I lived in Newport Coast for 6 months. Look it up. Newport Coast, California. It's where LeBron James lives. If I had wanted to have kids and a big bank account kind of husband and all that kind of, I could have had it by now. I chose not to. I chose freedom. I chose autonomy. And it wasn't an easy choice, not in the least. I could be living in a $10 million home right now in California with nice weather. But I'm here fixing up a piece of house. It's actually a really good house. Point is, dating younger women does make you immature. And dating women much younger than you means you're lacking accountability. Sorry.
If that's not what you like, then you can say that. But y'all go around here trying to disrespect and dismiss what men do and what men like. I mean, y'all be sitting up here with the most superficial standards of things that a man gotta do. But then when a man says, okay, well, let me have a little fun. Oh, you immature. What? How is it? Oh, you can't handle a woman your age. That maybe that man don't want the trouble of you messing around with you. So no, actually, no, I can't handle a woman my age. If it's a woman like you, then no, I don't want the baggage. I don't want the foolishness. I don't want the chaos. I don't want the it's got to be done my way or the highway. I don't want the I'm strong and independent. I don't need no man. I don't want the, oh, I'm in my masculine. You're going to have to rip me up out of my masculine and put me in my feminine. No, I don't want that.
Okay, so it's a conversation going around on Facebook about men dating younger women because they're more impressionable, they are moldable, and basically the man can form the younger girl into who he wants her to be. Okay, cool. Now, the other part of the conversation as to why they don't want to date their age or older, because those women have already been through a lot, had too many dating experiences that could have went wrong, made them bitter, made them angry towards men. They're just more of a bigger headache to date their age or older. Cool. First part. You can date younger, someone who has not lived that long, have not had as many experiences as women your age. You could, right? But are you planning to treat that younger girl better? Because if you dog her out, she is still going to talk back to you. She is going to build resentment towards you. She is still going to give you all the problems that you swear you are avoiding with women your age. That younger girl will soon grow tired of you, and maybe she'll date younger, and then you'll be disqualified. You ever thought about that? Cool. Now, as far as them wanting to date younger, to mold them, I'm not mad at it. You understand me? When you start dating someone, you have to teach them how to love you. You have to teach them your likes, your dislikes, your love languages, and all these things. We are molding our partner in a sense, regardless of age. So that part, I'm not necessarily mad at. But to date younger, simply because you think you're going to avoid some of the things that you experience with women your age or older, there's no way to avoid it. That woman will reach those same levels if they are put through the same thing that women your age have been put through. So if you don't plan on treating that younger girl better, you're going to run into the same problems. Now, a lot of men date younger. I'm not mad at it. I date older. Men my age don't have a chance. I'm not dating my age. So age preference don't even matter to me. As long as y'all both over the age of 18, y'all legal, nobody can go to jail. However, stop putting yourself in a box swearing that you're going to get better. The results will be, unfortunately, the exact same if the people within the relationship aren't better. Let me know y'all opinion on this topic.
So a woman here in the comments says when they say mold, they actually mean train them like a dog to follow their course. Young ladies, stay woke. What's there to stay woke about? Do y'all ever consider that men want friends? Like, they actually want to be at peace. They don't actually want chaos and you coming home with foolishness all the time. They actually do want to take you out on a date and treat you right, and they want you to be happy and excited. But y'all don't be showing no excitement for anything, like literally nothing. Y'all want a man to be excited for the littlest things that you do, and you want a man to walk in and, oh, I see you got your hair done. throw me a party. Go buy me something because I look so great. But then when a man says, hey, come over to this spot with me, I think it's cool. Then all of a sudden, oh, I'm not enthused. I'm not enthused by this. Every single time you get your hair done, a man gotta love it. But when a man take you to the same spot, all of a sudden, it ain't no good no more.
Yeah, okay. Handle. Do I need to say more? Have you noticed it's always women saying this that are around that age rather than men or younger women saying this? A lot of men date younger because they want peace. There's a lot of people out there who, as they go through a lot of different things, instead of working on themselves and not being bitter, they become very bitter and very toxic. And they never look inward to see where they can fix it. Women who are younger don't usually have that problem. They haven't become bitter, and that makes them very attractive and easy to be around. A lot of these ladies like to try new things and are open-minded about that. So dates are more fun, so that man, if he wanted to try anything new, or maybe he was in a long-term relationship that was very boring and it was all about her and her needs and wants, he has an opportunity to do fun things and do the things he's always wanted that he tried with his past relationships and it didn't work out because she wasn't open-minded about trying new things. She was set in her ways, that his feelings and needs never mattered, and for younger women, they often want to meet their man's needs as well.
What's up, y'all? So, I'm 39 and she 27, right? And a lot of y'all don't like that, and that's cool. But I'm finna tell y'all something. This woman with me because she loved the out of me. Vice versa. We not on no old extra, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, all that there. So try to understand something. When we got together, we never planned that we was gonna be together. We just kind of met, moved in, and we've been together ever since. You know what I'm saying? And nobody gonna be able to stop that. So you can keep your hateful comments. You can say what you want to say. You can not like us, or you can like us, or you can with us, or you don't got to with us at all. We still gonna rock with y'all 100%. But make sure y'all go over there and subscribe to our YouTube channel. The link is in our bio. Yes. Because we finna start dropping 3, 4, 5, 10-minute videos over there, blogs, all that. So make sure y'all tap in with us and stay tuned. And shout out to all the age gap couples.
And wait, hold on just a second. And he's so fine, y'all. That's really kind of why. No, look to the side, baby. Look at his side profile. Look at the tattoos on the neck. Hold on. Look at the other. Oh, come on now. Yeah. And then look at that. I can hit it if I want to because he's stiff, unlike y'all men.
Woman in the comments said, why would anybody be hating on that? You're both grown. Exactly, Stacy. Exactly. Another woman says her frontal lobe is fully developed. She knows what she's doing. Enjoy life. Thank you. This is what men are saying. It don't matter what the age is. If there's an age gap, a significant age gap like this one right here, where what are they, 12 years apart? Modern women are going to have a problem with it.
I don't know why other women are trying to sell this idea that if a man dates a woman who's younger, that automatically means that he's not attractive to other women in the entire world. I think that's a huge cope because if you actually look at the older men who date younger women, there are women his age and older who wish that they could be with a guy like him. But he doesn't choose those women for his personal reasons. I think if you actually look at the older men who are dating younger women, they have no problems attracting women their age or older. I think these women are only talking about the exception of the rule and then trying to turn it into a generalization. Because yes, there is a percentage of men who cannot attract women their age, but that doesn't go for most of them. If a man can attract a woman who's younger, then he could attract a woman any age, right? Because what these women are saying is like, oh, younger women are stupid. Younger women are mature for their age, but they also have less baggage. Let's be real. And what about the women who are older and they go for younger men? They could also attract men their age, But there's a reason why they want younger men, which is her own reason, it's her own preference, it's her own standard. I'm done with people using these shaming tactics, because whoever people want to date is whoever people want to date. And whoever I want to date is who I want to date. No, I'm not specifically talking about age, but let's just say I only date one specific race, and that makes so many people mad because low-key, they want a chance with me. That's why they're so butthurt. Y'all know those men who reject you first because they knew you would have rejected them anyway? Yeah, people are insane. What I'm just trying to say is, like, let's stop shaming men for who they date, because if they're both consenting adults, if they're both happy with you, people just try to sabotage anything. If it's not the age, it's something else. If it's not the age, oh, well, it's because he said this. Oh, it's because he did this. Nothing a man does is ever going to be good enough. Women will always try to find excuses to break up a relationship, but age alone is not a deciding factor that he is not worthy of love or commitment. You judging people based on their age alone says more about you than them, than the people who are in the actual relationship.
These modern women don't really believe that men are running into women that they find attractive and they have a connection with. Like, say, for instance, you might be on a dating app and you're trying women in your age range. Then you might say, oh, she's cute. Let me see if I have a connection with her. Doesn't work out. So I'm open to all possibilities. That's why you have the passport bros, obviously within reason, because a lot of them, modern women, once again, like to make it seem like men are predators. Within reason, I'm open. I'm expanding my window. You heard, well, maybe you didn't hear, but there was a woman that was a matchmaker, and she was a little upset because she was talking with a man, and he was talking about, basically, I'm 48 and I'm looking for basically a woman in this sort of age range. And then she said, oh, well, just made a comment about how the women in that age range were doing something else. And he said, okay, well, let's widen the age gap. Let's see what we have. Some of my best relationships have been with ladies that are 20 years my junior. And that's when she got mad. Oh, well, you shouldn't be doing that, and they gonna call you a creep and a predator. Regardless of what they gonna call me, I'm secure enough in myself to want to look for this. And surprise, surprise, when she finally quit yapping and put it out there were some women that were takers. And then when he followed up and said, now I gotta get on your case, I don't think that you did me right to say what you said about me. You framed it in a way where you made it seem like I was a predator. Oh, I didn't do any. No, you take accountability for what you did. We talked about it. I explained my position. You said that makes sense. Stop calling me a predator and a creep, man. I'm not a criminal.
Men who like younger women, let's talk about this. I was at the gym today and I saw this cute guy and I was like, ooh, he's so cute. But I'm like, this thought just came up, right? And I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure he just likes young girls. I'm sure he's just like, typical, whatever. Because, he was handsome, he was cute, around probably my age, a little bit older. And I noticed that this thought just came up and I was like, oh, he probably likes younger girls. And let's talk about that. I think a lot of men are going into these like whatever podcast or like the Fresh and Fit podcast. And like, even this other guy, I forgot his name. I forgot his name. But you know who I'm talking about, that literally basically says, oh, the women, like once they're past 25, their value goes down or whatever. I'm 33, okay? So from my perspective, what I'm seeing right now, if you think about it, if a man really likes a younger girl that's like 18 years old and he's maybe 35, 40 years old, like, yes, it's cool to like them if you want to have fun. But if they really truly want to actually marry them and have a whole life, that's like really, like, I don't know. I personally think that a real man wants a woman that knows him, like really can see eye to eye to them. Being a provider, you don't have to feel like you're inferior to that person. You don't have to think like, oh, okay, I want a woman that doesn't know anything, has nothing in her brain. Because let me tell you, 2025, baby, like there's no girl that has nothing in her brain, unless she's like a junkie, unless she's completely like being abused since she was very little and just has been dissociated by, in life and stuff like that, or is like, doing other things, getting pimped out or something. Like there's just no way. Like women are educated. Even if they don't even go to school, they have YouTube, they have stuff. We know, we just act like we don't know, okay? So I don't know, I think about it and I'm like, that's a little bit weird now. Like, guys that are like saying that, I think like those guys, they have to be pedophiles. Like, there's just no way. And I'm not saying like, okay, if you go out with like, say you're 40 years old and you go out with like a 25-year-old, that's okay. For me, I personally think it's okay. It's kind of like, at least if the girl has like her brain, you know, nice and developed somewhat. At 25, you're there. You're almost there. You're about to just go to the, you know, depending how, you know, what was your upbringing. But usually, like, I would say even 22 is like the minimum of a guy dating a younger girl, just because, not even because at that age, those girls are curious. Those girls want to go out into the world and like see what's out there. And I have so many guy friends that come to me and they're like, oh, this girl broke my heart. And I'm like, how old was she? And they're like, oh, she was 19. Oh, she was 18. Oh, she was 22. I'm like, so anyways, to my girlies and even to my guys, like, comment below. Like, it's so interesting that I've been actually having these thoughts of like, oh, that guy probably likes the younger girls. Like, I don't know. I could tell like some guys, I don't know. It's just, it's a little weird. It's a little turn off. Like, I think that a real man that has like high values, he would want a high value woman that like sees what he sees, that has the vision, the bigger picture. When you're young, unfortunately, girlies, I love you. And, you know, by all means, but like, your vision is not big because you don't have that much experience. So I think that a lot of us, like, it's just really sad. Like, I think men have to like catch up with, like, we don't need a black knight. Like, we don't need someone to come save us, because by the end of the day, when you save a girl, she'll eventually either leave you or she'll just have that identity of like, oh, this person saved me, so I owe him. Like, you know what I mean? True love is to really share your values, share your principles, your belief system, how you see the world. That's truly like a real partner, in my opinion. And I think it's so sad that we fantasize of the youth that way, of seeing women of like, oh, well, she has to be young and she has to do this and that's valuable. It's like, no, like, we're all beautiful. And like, if you take out of that fantasy that we've fed women and men about the youth, because I feel like it's so messed up. Because a lot of young girls put their worth and their value in their youth. Like, oh, okay, I'm 18 years old, or, oh, like, I'm valuable because I'm 22 and I'm pretty. It's like, that's so sad. Like, please, to my girlies who are young, you're more than just your youth. Like, by all means. Never really had that, like, oh yeah, because I'm young. Like, maybe only one time, because I had this one guy like try to make me feel just bad for being young. I'm like, I'm sorry that I'm young and I want to have fun and I want to do this and this and that, and the way that I think. You can't get mad at the youth for being the way that they are. They're curious. It's a good thing. That's how they develop their self, their personality, how they see their world, who they want to be, their soul itself. So yeah, for those guys, like, it just sucks because a lot of those guys live here in Miami, where they see, like, you know, like, for me, for example, if I date a guy that's like maybe 15 years older than me, at this point I'm 33, so that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a grown woman. I've gone through, you know, I do want to have a family and stuff like that, but we should really look into the guys that like 18-year-olds and they're like maybe 50 years old, or maybe they're even 30 years old, that they like 18-year-olds. That's a little weird. It's a little pedophile. Like, it's cool to have fun, you know, like, just because they want to have fun and you want to have fun, great. But to actually try to have a whole family, or I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't know. Comment below. I would love to know. Anyways, have a beautiful day. It was just a random thought. Yeah.
You have a guy here in the comments that says, you're overanalyzing a thought. You're overanalyzing it, even before asking. It's easy to assume, but you would be surprised. And to her credit, she came back and said, oh, okay, you have a point. Thank you. Another guy says, it's the baggage. Women over 25 have had too many heartbreaks and are ruined. In Chinese culture, a single woman over 25 is called Xing Yu, or leftover woman. When you're in the market for a new car, you want a newer model with low miles, right? Here's another man. Here's another man, happily married, 6 years to an amazing Colombian corporate tax accountant, 27-year gap. Dang. He says older men have been with younger women for centuries, right? And that doesn't negate that you have, because you still have statistics that say the age gap is usually men dating around their age, and vice versa with women. Women are more likely to, you know, kind of date out of their range, right? But statistically speaking, you're going to have them within, I think it's a 2 to 5 year gap, something like that. It might be even closer. But this is what men are saying. We got a connection. I like the connection. If she's grown, then, and when I say grown, yeah, you have those who date a woman that's 20 something years old, like 22 or maybe 18. Let's say 18, right? You have that. But what y'all try to do once again is try to make it seem like men are just out here on top of a building, looking down like Batman, preying on the poor, helpless woman below, and she can't make decisions for herself.
I was on live last night, and we were all having a conversation about older men dating younger women and why that could be and why that could be a problem. I tell everybody my age limit for my age right now is 28. I'm 23. That's 5 years. I don't want a much older man because the experience difference. For one, why I don't think it's cute that an older man wants me. That is very like bigged up nowadays. We're like, ooh, a lot of girls eat that up. And I tell any young girl around me, that's not cute. It's not cute that an older man wants you, because it's not. They want you because you're impressionable. You don't have the experience that they have. I think experience is my biggest issue with it. You're 35, I'm 23. You have a lot more experience over me. So why do you want to come down to where I am? Not necessarily that it's just coming down, but it's just like you have way more wisdom than I do. Why don't you want somebody on your level, if that makes sense? Like, I'm very mature for my age, but that don't mean I want to go date a man that's 10 years older than me right now. Maybe 35 and 45 is not that bad, cool. But 40 and 20 and 30 and 21, stuff like that, that's just too big of an age difference for me. I feel like I'm very mature, but that don't mean that I'm mature enough or experienced enough to date a man who's already owned or rented multiple houses at a time or has had multiple cars throughout his lifetime. I'm still learning myself, so I want somebody I can learn with, not somebody who can tell me things that they already know, which I have a dad for. I have an older man in my life. I have a dad for that. So I don't want another older man in my life, in my ear, trying to put his experiences on me, which is not a bad thing. You could be my mentor. If you 40 something, you could be my mentor, but anything past that, I don't think it's cute that I'm desired by an older man. They want to, I feel like they want impressionable women that they can kind of control. Like I said, some older men, it might not be the case for them. But let's be realistic. Why aren't you dating a woman, if you're 40, why aren't you dating a woman that's 38, 40, 42, 45? Why don't you want somebody in that caliber? What's wrong with them? And the biological clock stuff, listen, if you are 40 and you want a girl in her 20s because you want kids, if you feel like the time is running out for women your age, oh my gosh, well, you should have had your baby when you were 20 something, 30 something. But I'm sure instead you were too busy wasting women your age's biological clock time. You were wasting their time in those years. So that's why now you want to date down and give a 20-year-old a baby by a 40-year-old man. And now when you're 60, your kid is going to be 20. And they're not going to have much life left to live with you. It's not a good thing to me, in my personal opinion. It's just not. Like I said, you could be my mentor. You could be my mentor. But if you're desiring me, you want to be with me, and I'm in my 20s, what is there to relate to? The experience is not there. We can't have many shared experiences, and that's what I would want with my partner. I want shared experiences.
It's an age difference for you. That's too big of an age difference for you, you said. Modern women think everything is about them. If another woman can come up, sometimes at 18 years old, and date a 36-year-old man, other women around her will talk about her because they can't fathom it, because they can't do it. Modern women are like crabs in a bucket. They won't even ask any questions to qualify what's going on. They'll just start assuming that that's what the issue is. Oh, he's trying to manipulate her. He's trying to control her. Have you talked to her? Do you know her upbringing? I'm actually mature for my age. Like, I'm actually mature. I mean, you say you're mature for your age. If you were mature for your age, then you would understand the dynamic. You would understand why something like that could work. Right? I mean, we sit up here once again. I'm thinking, I mean, you have celebrity couples. Y'all always talk about couple goals. You have celebrity couples. A younger lady gets with an older man and it continues to work and until he passes away. Been with that man until he died and it worked. You don't know what you're doing, just say that.
So here's another gentlemanly nugget of knowledge. Gentlemen, a lot of gentlemen have noticed as they get older, particularly when they reach the peak of their value or their desirability, if you will. And generally speaking, that happens between the ages of 36 to 45 for most men. It may happen a little bit earlier. For some men, if they've taken care of themselves, they'll continue to notice that their value and their desirability increases well into their 50s. And what a lot of older gentlemen notice is that a lot of this new attention that they're getting that they never got when they were younger, a lot of it is coming from younger women. Women as young as in their 20s still. And it actually makes perfect sense when you think about it, because a lot of younger women in their 20s, they're looking at the state of the modern 20-something-year-old man. And they're disappointed. And it's really quite easy to understand why. All it takes is a trip to the mall or the grocery store. Look around. Look at the men that are in their 20s. They're fat. They're slovenly. They're unkept. They have no motivation. They have no goals. They have no aspirations. And it's frustrating to a lot of young women to look around and see this. Well, here's the thing. A lot of older gentlemen have noticed that, yes, they're getting a lot more attention from women because they are older. They're more mature. They're more accomplished. They've acquired more things in life. They're better spoken. They're more confident. They're more experienced. And a lot of this attention that these older gentlemen are getting is coming from younger women. It's not unusual, gentlemen. In fact, it makes perfect sense. And that's why a lot of times men that are in their 40s or sometimes even 50s are dating women that are in their 20s or maybe early 30s. And a lot of these relationships actually work out quite well because an older man and a younger woman are actually far more compatible than a lot of us recognize. There's a lot of hypocrisy as well, though, and we catch a lot of shaming techniques on the internet when older men date younger women. Well, gentlemen, my advice is to just ignore it. And the reason being is because younger women, well, they concede. They're perfectly fine with it. Older men, they concede. They're perfectly fine with it. They form relationships. They're happy. They form new families. And the only people that seem to mind are older women. And, well, that also makes sense. And I have stated in the past that, yes, there is a loneliness epidemic that happens to men in their 20s. Well, there is also a loneliness epidemic that happens to women in their 40s. The difference is that men acknowledge it and women don't. Women deflect and call it something else. Nevertheless, there are two loneliness epidemics happening. I don't mean to get off track, but it is quite common for an older gentleman to find himself in a relationship with a much younger woman. And that's fine. Many of these relationships work out just fine and they go on to lead happy, healthy lives, start new families, so forth and so on. However, if you date a younger woman, there's a lot of great reasons to date a younger woman. I mean, first and foremost, obviously they look better. Of course they do. We looked better when we were younger too. However, men are often considered more attractive as they get older for other reasons. But nevertheless, younger women, they look better. They're, generally speaking, they're more active. They're more fun. They're more adventurous. They have more energy. All of these different things. There's a million different reasons to date a younger woman. However, there's a few reasons or a few things you should consider, because one of the, what's the word that I'm looking for? One of the potential problems with dating a younger woman is that sometimes these women aren't nearly as mature and they are not ready or capable of maintaining a healthy relationship. Many of them spend their lives just riddled with drama, chaos, all of these sorts of things. So we have to be aware of it and we have to be cautious of it and we have to maintain ourselves and we have to acknowledge the fact that, well, yes, we are the older one in the relationship and we are the leader of the relationship. And as long as, she's not bringing all kinds of drama into the relationship, well, that relationship could end up just fine. What happens when she does? Gentlemen, I received an email. If you'd like to send me an email, open up my bio, follow the link. There's a direct link to email me in there. It's 100% free, and I certainly encourage that you do so. I love talking about these various circumstances and these stories that gentlemen go through. Gentlemen, I received an email from a 52-year-old man who has been in a 4-year relationship with a 30-year-old woman, which means they met when he was 48 and she was 26. Well, this particular relationship has just been filled with drama. Not just from her. Sorry, gentlemen. Yes, I take your side, but I will call out your two when it happens. So this particular gentleman, he's been in a relationship with this woman for 4 years. He went and he frequently travels to the country of Vietnam. Well, he went to Vietnam for 3 months and found himself in another relationship with another young lady, and then came back home, and his girlfriend found out about it and left him, and then came back, and then threatened to go back with her ex-boyfriend, and then came back. And then our gentleman friend was pissed off and heartbroken, so he went back to Vietnam, but then 6 weeks later came back, and they were fine for 6 months, but then she cheated on him with the ex-boyfriend. And you see where I'm going with this, gentleman. I could go on with this he wrote me a very lengthy email, but it was essentially just a long story of back and forth and back and forth and back and forth with this woman. And he's not quite sure what to do. In addition to that, he wants to retire and move to Vietnam permanently. And he's not sure if he wants to bring this woman with him. He doesn't think he wants to, but he's not sure. But at the same time, he's also incredibly angry with this woman for cheating on him, except he did the same thing. Here's the thing, brother. I got lots of advice for you, but I'll try and simplify it. For one, you can't expect a woman to be loyal to you when you haven't been loyal to her. You don't get to go off and cheat on your girlfriend and then come back home 3 months later and say, okay, do over. We're going to start from scratch now. No more cheating allowed from either one of us. You can't really expect that to happen, brother. You cheated on her first, which means that, she's going to do the same thing. And it also means that if she's cheating on you, she doesn't respect you. But more important than that, what you have done is you have allowed this woman to drag you into her drama. This is all adolescent high school. Seriously, that's what this is. And you've allowed her to drag you into it. I'm not sure why you did that, but you did. And that's probably why the relationship is in turmoil. That's why you're angry at her. That's why you guys are back on or off and on again all the time. It's not healthy, brother. There's nothing wrong with dating a 30-year-old woman or being, well, you're 52. So you're 22 years older than her. There's nothing wrong with that. But the problem is that you chose a woman that isn't mature enough. And I'm sure she's beautiful, and I'm sure she's fun, and I'm sure she looks great. But here's the thing. Eventually, all of that becomes old, and eventually you're going to have to talk to this woman. You're going to have conversations with her. I know, but you can't expect to be able to do that with a woman that hasn't matured. Well, this woman hasn't matured. She's dragging all of this drama into this relationship, all of this high school into this relationship. But here's your mistake, brother. You allowed yourself to get dragged down into it as well, and now you're just as mad as she is. Brother, listen, walk away. You said you wanted to retire in Vietnam. You said you're angry with this woman and you want revenge. No, you don't. Just leave, brother. Just walk away. Do your thing. Go retire in Vietnam and find another woman that actually genuinely respects you. Because this high school stuff, it's not going to work, brother. You're just going to keep dragging yourself down with more and more drama. Don't let that happen. You deserve better than that. Gentlemen, take care of yourselves, take care of your mental health, your physical health, your financial health, and take care of your brothers, because no one else will.
And looking at this guy, you see somebody who, what he calls on his channel, gentlemanly nuggets, right? Somebody who is distinguished. And look at the way he holds himself, right? It's very clean. I get my beard done, I get my hair cut, right? I try to clean up as much as possible. I try to look nice. Women are attracted to that. That's what they say they're attracted to. It really comes down to a situation to where you're darned if you do, you're darned if you don't. Where the more I accumulate, the older I get, and I find somebody who's hitting on me, who's going after me, you're gonna call me a predator. But if I'm young and I'm doing it, then you get mad at me because I'm messing around. Oh, it don't matter what age it is, actually, because if I'm older and I got a lot of women hitting on me, then I'm a problem. If I'm a little bit younger, in my 30s, and I got women hitting on me, then I'm a problem. Just say that you don't like men being successful. Just say that you don't like men that have a lot of options. You thought it was you. Well, when he get to this age, I'm gonna be a nurse with a purse. The market's all me. It's not. It's not you. It's not you. Like I said, man out here taking care of himself, making a little bit more money, and women see that and they're like, oh, I like that. I want to talk to this man. I want to be around this man. And the man says, oh, okay. Yeah, it seems like there's something there. She's cute, and I actually like her conversation. Seems like a fun time. Seems like a good person to be around, a genuine heart. Then all of a sudden, oh, well, he must be trying to control her, and he's trying to manipulate her, and he's a narcissist. Or catch this, we actually like each other, and you're a bitter person.